person who had very, very little self-esteem, and sometimes I think that we get this idea that if we have really low self-esteem, there's no way. We're just born with it. We were unpopular in high school. Everybody hated us. We were picked on, whatever it is, and that can never change. And I'm kind of like I think of myself as kind of an example of someone who had very low self-esteem and has really grown into someone who does have healthy self-esteem. I call myself a chiropractor for the mind because I want to get your thoughts and your life working for you instead of against you. And a lot of that is about alignment. And here we have 3 things to align ourselves with. Now, the first bit, actually you think, oh, well, the want's easy. But then I ask you to go back to that quote that I gave you, which is maturity is going after what you want as opposed to going after what you think you want. What I recommend is you get a notebook or a few pieces of paper, you write that quote on the top, and then ask yourself, what do I want? Take yourself to Starbucks or Coffee Bean and just journal. Give yourself an hour. Just write. Keep going back to that question. Keep going back to it because you know the answers. So here's me. And then there's this thing in the middle. And this is all my fear. This is all my negative thoughts. And what that does is it blocks the energy, that powerful energy, that energy of life, that energy that's in each and every one of us because we're alive, from getting to me. And the thing is, the other part about this is that the only one who can clear this is me. So, something happens, I spill the Coke on me, okay? Stop, because immediately what am I going to want to do? I'm going to want to beat up on myself. That is my default tendency, okay? Take a step back, and it puts you in the position to observe, okay? Now, when you're in that position of observe, you want to ask yourself, is this unhealthy for me or healthy for me? In order to heal, a healing forest must be created. And I love that idea of healing forest is that we need support. And it's also like, well, my friends don't support me. Well, who's picking your friends? You know? My family doesn't support me. Okay, well then perhaps going to them about your career is not the most helpful thing to be doing. So, my thought, oh, I'm such a klutz, I'm such a jerk, right? Is that a healthy thought for me or an unhealthy thought for me? That's an unhealthy thought for me. So what am I going to do? I am now going to respond. Response is a reaction with a pause and a thought behind it. This needs to become practice. This needs to become your way of life. I know for me, I used to have a really, really negative thought pattern, and all of the thoughts, you know, the committee that would go on in my head, you know, it was always negative. It was always like, why aren't you doing this? You should be doing this. You have to do this. And one of the things I started learning is anything, you know, don't should all over yourself. It's like we all know what love is. We all understand what that is. We all understand that energy. That's truth. That's truth with a capital T. It's infinite truth. It goes on forever. Then there's truth with a little t, or as I like to call it, the I'm not good enough truth, okay? That is ego's truth. And it is a finite truth. Why? Because it only lasts as long as the person who is thinking it or that person who's thinking its lifetime. It's finite. So which way do you want to make your life live? Do you want to get your life working for you by living in this truth or against you by working in this truth? I believe that we're all put on this earth to serve. Every single person on this earth has a purpose. And the thing is to find out, and I believe it's that clearing off of the onion and finding out what is it really supposed to be. Because remember, you're not responsible for your first thought, but you are responsible for your second thought. I'm sorry. Let's apologize for saying that. It sucks, but it's the truth. You're not responsible for your first thought, which is, I'm too old. But God damn it, you are responsible for the second one. I'm going to try and give you a few tools today to help you to keep the focus on yourself so that when you have that impulse to try and change someone else, like your mom or your dad or your brother or your sister or your dog, well, actually, I guess a dog you could take to obedience school.